that fine with you?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah, we just kind of go for it. So
one of our viewers that told us that we should get you on the podcast. So
that's so awesome.
yeah, we're looking forward to this one. So how do I say your first name? Is it Natalya? Did I say that right?
Yeah, Natalya is the actual name. Tally Payne is just kind of my stage name, you could say.
Okay, what do you want us to? Do you want us to call you Talia?
Tally Payne's fine. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, probably sound like a redneck or something. We're from the South.
right.
You guys said East Coast time, so where are you guys at?
So I'm in Florida, and David's in North Carolina.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, East Coast boys. No, I love that. I actually was born in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my brother's stationed over there. So he's in
my God.
Yeah.
My dad was Navy, so that's where we ended up there.
Okay, yeah, he's in the Air Force, but currently he's on the naval base over there, Pensacola. So he loves it though. But yeah, I just moved down here to Florida, and I'm loving it so far. But yeah, so if you ready to get started? So let's see.
Yeah, and you hear me okay? Because I have you sitting on something, so I don't know if that's blocking the speaker at all.
No, you're good.
Yeah, you sound fine. Yeah. So we'll start this off. So how did you get your nickname, the Beast? Where did that come from?
Well, it's so funny. Actually, it was one of my first MMA fights, amateur MMA fights down in San Diego. I had a fight in like 2016, but then ended up taking a little bit of a layover and didn't fight until like 2019. And it's funny, actually, Stephan Bonner, rest in peace, just ended up giving me the nickname. He was in the cage when I was in the cage. He was the one that was like, "Oh, she's a beast. She's a beast." And he's like, "If you don't have a nickname, the Beast Speece is a good one." And we were like, "Hey, that's it." And that was it.
That's cool. That's awesome. David, you got anything?
No, that is cool. I mean, we have Mark Munoz on here, and he was saying the same thing. Like, he was like, the best nicknames are kind of given. So that is always good when other people give you that name.
It is really cool, especially like in a scenario like that. Most of the time it'll happen at the gym or something, people kind of pick up stuff. That's kind of where Tally Payne came from. I was in the gym. Natalya is the full name, but Tally is just a lot easier for people. And I used to be Tally Joy. Joy is my middle name. And it was like, not really a fight name. And one day somebody was like, "Nah, you're Tally Payne." And I was like, "Nah, I like that. It's perfect." Everyone thinks my last name is Payne, so I was like, "Yeah, well, let's just keep that."
Cool, that's awesome. How did you get into fighting? Where did that all start?
I'm coming up on almost like 17 years now of doing martial arts. I was a little girl who just needed something to stay fit over the summer. And where I was training, we were very close to Mexico. So the gym owner would take his little group of people from the gym down to Mexico. And basically, I think like 6 months into it, he was hosting an event. He's like, "Okay, I got a fight for you." And I was like, "Well, okay, I guess we'll kind of go for it." And that was it. I was hooked. And we were going down to like Rosarito, Tecate, Tijuana. I fought in like Baby Rock, all these different places on the freaking dirt floor, the gym in the middle of like a cardboard city. Like, it was pretty wild. So it just kind of stuck, and I loved it. I did a lot of performing on the side. That's kind of what I started with. I started in performing arts, and this kind of gave me something that I was just missing. And immediately I was addicted, and that was it.
That's cool. David, do you have anything to add on that?
No, that's awesome. Have you ever thought about, I guess, now that you've done the MMA thing, have you ever thought about potentially doing WWE?
You know what's funny? I actually, when I first started looking into MMA, I had somebody bring that up. And there's someone named Natalya, there's a girl named Natalya, blonde girl. So I was like kind of bummed about that. But hey, Valor is doing it the right way. Like I said, I'm a performer. I love performing. And who knows, if that opportunity was to come, I think that's amazing, and that is a whole nother sport in itself that you have to learn and advance at. And what they're doing is pretty wild. So that would be really cool to check out. I'd definitely be down to do it.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So your next fight, that's June 10th? I think we saw that.
Yes, sir. June 10th for Peak in Amarillo, Texas. I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll check that. We'll definitely. How can we watch that? What's the best way people could watch that fight?
I know they do pay-per-view, but Peak actually is doing this app now. So you can get on the app, you pay for a subscription and stuff. And I think that's really cool. It's kind of like UFC Fight Pass, but it's exclusive. You get a bunch of information on it, different behind the scenes and stuff. So yeah, I know it'll be streaming through pay-per-view and through the app.
That's cool. Okay, awesome. We'll try to check that out. Do you have any what's your future goals with what you're doing with fighting? Do you want to get in UFC, Bellator, PFL?
Of course, I tend to take the hard road, the hardest road possible. But, I'm working. I just need to get a few more good, consistent wins under my belt. And I have a feeling like one of those promotions are going to be calling, soon enough. I have great connections with UFC, Bellator, and PFL. I guess it'll kind of just be like who first come, first serve kind of thing, Obviously, UFC is the goal because that's the name. But what these other promotions are doing, like PFL and Bellator, and they're providing a lot more, I should say, a little bit more for fighters. And I kind of like that. So UFC is a name, obviously, but for financial reasons or anything else, some of these other promotions are coming up and giving the UFC a run for their money. So I just want to get to a big show. I deserve to be on a big show and get my name out there. And I just want to show the world like, hey, I'm here and I'm ready to take over for sure.
Yeah, that's a good mindset to have. I'm sure you'll get there.
For sure.
So I mean, you're training at Jacksonwink currently, and that's in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, so blessed. Jacksonwink. I got out here basically I think it was like the end of 2018. So it's coming up on almost like 5 years now that I got out here. And again, just kind of fell in love. I'm from California, San Diego, California, and we have amazing gyms out there in Orange County, LA. Have been to quite a few of the different gyms, but just something wasn't like fully clicking. I had jujitsu, I had striking gyms, but I just wasn't fully clicking with the MMA gyms. And I decided to kind of check out Albuquerque, and it was a random little place. Never expected to kind of end up out here, but I honestly kind of fell in love with the slower pace. There's literally nothing to do out here besides train, which is, yeah, I can get distracted a little bit. In California, I'm living good, I'm eating good, it's too much. So I needed to Albuquerque to really focus. And we have the altitude out here, which is amazing too. I've noticed such a big difference with that. So as soon as I got into Jacksonwink, I knew I found my home. The people, the coaches, I just latched on. I'm like that. I'm a very personal person and latched on. And that was it. I absolutely love it. And I built my relationship with these coaches as well. Coach Greg Jackson, Coach Mike Winklejohn. And it's amazing to actually be able to train under these coaches. I'll have Coach Greg Jackson talking about when he was coaching George St. Pierre. And I'm standing there. Wow, that is amazing to think. These coaches have almost like probably thousands of fights that they've cornered under their belts. And so to be able to be learning one-on-one from them is just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've seen on your Instagram, you go to the BMF ranch. Do you do that often?
Yeah, unfortunately with Cowboy not fighting anymore, it's not happening as much, but Cowboy was actually at Jackson's. And when I got out here, we got connected and he was like, hey, I host basically little sessions out here. We do the sauna sessions. And again, it was one of those, I was like, look, what an amazing opportunity. My dad is obsessed with Cowboy and I get to go and I'm sauna with him. Talk stories and his experiences, and it was just so good. So it was really cool to be able to go out there. He's got his own little warehouse, and then we get to sit in the sauna after and we all die and sweat. I just did his he has a little I can't think of the name right now, but it's basically a little hot room. It's even worse than it looks like a little pizza oven, a human pizza oven.
What is the sweat lodge? I think that's what you said it was, right? The sweat lodge.
And I hadn't done it, been told and warned about it. And today he's like, you want to die? I'm like, okay, what time? So went out there and it was such an amazing experience and just like a very spiritual. He's out in Edgewood, which is about 45 minutes out from Albuquerque. So he's again even deeper. He's got so much land. He's in the mountains, even higher altitude out there. So the first time I trained out there, I ended up doing a round robin, had someone sitting on my chest, and I was like, bro, this is intense. This is so just so blessed that I made that connection and can't wait for him. Every once in a while, he'll still invite people out and have little sessions, but he's living his now, doing movies and all that. So I just wait for the text.
Yeah, that's cool. Did he create that sweat lodge? Is that his idea, or is that something?
Built everything out there. He's got a barber shop. He's got a gun range. He's actually made like a racing track for his bikes. So he's got a racing track for the four-wheelers. He's got the big venue, or he's got his big little warehouse, the sauna he's created. It's so cool. And definitely one of those, when I go out there, I'm like, this is the dream, this is the goal. So to be able to kind of be in that environment, it just makes you work even harder, because I was like, this is what I want. I want this. I want to be able to bring people to my home, my own place, my gym and all that, and just provide for like upcoming generation. So it's set some good goals for you.
For sure. Yeah, he's a man. Does he really drink that much Budweiser when he trains and stuff? Did he used to? Does it?
Yeah.
He does. That's what I
He
think.
probably.
He has like
I mean, he
cooler.
probably
has like,
does.
I saw it on like one of his vlogs or something. He had like a
Somebody like
Budweiser
that's
cooler in
just
the
wired
gym.
different.
The actual epitome of a cowboy, 100% through and through. It's really funny because I was warned. Actually, when I first started going out there, it was kind of like no girls allowed. So I was very much like, I'll stand back. I'll bring a partner. I'll always have a partner, because you kind of let the boys do the boys. And I was just observing, and I was told, I was like, hey, Cowboy's an interesting one. Don't piss him off. And we've had people come out to the gym and something's happened and he looks at you, he goes, you never come out here again. Get the fuck out. And that's his home. He's allowed to do that. So I'm walking on eggshells for the first couple of sessions, but he is honestly one of the coolest guys, just so open, especially once you kind of get to know him and get past that, wall. He's so cool. He's hilarious. He's funny. I love all the stories. Just a really cool guy. I could always talk to him. I was like kind of thinking about something, just running stuff by him, and hearing about like the nerves he had backstage leading up to fights. He was like throwing up and this and that. So to sit there and hear Cowboy Cerrone, one of the highest levels you could get to, talking about being so scared backstage, it was really cool. It was really cool and really cool to connect with that.
Do you follow Cameron Haynes at all? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. No.
Yeah, check him out. He had does a thing called a lift, run, and shoot. He's done it with Michael Chandler. Cowboy was on there. They do like a vlog. Yeah, they do a vlog. They run, shoot. He's big into bow hunting. But they ended up doing a podcast at the end of the episode. David, I think I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple.
But yeah, check it out if you get time. It's pretty cool. Cowboy kind of goes in depth about everything you just talked about, which is pretty cool. But also I see you also train with Holly Holm and Michelle Watterson. We've seen that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Holly's actually in camp right now. She has, I think, end of June. I think it's her fight, June or July. She has a fight coming up. So she's in full camp mode right now. Michelle was just in camp mode. She just fought. But it's really cool because she'll still come in, and same thing. Being able to talk to these women, is just so freaking cool. The other day I'm fighting a southpaw, and Michelle, Holly's a southpaw. So I was able to just kind of run some stuff by her. And it's so funny how they are just normal people. We put them on such, oh my God, that's a celebrity out here. Everyone knows Holly, everyone knows Michelle. But to hear them just like, oh, no, don't worry about it. You got this, you got that. Michelle is another one. She kind of just took all the girls under her wing. She's always talking, always, anytime we have a fight, sending just messages like, hey, you got this. This is just, you know, the mental side of it. They both understand how hard the mental side of this world is, you know. So to have women that you can look up to like that, honestly, it's kind of rare these days. There's just not a lot of women in the sport, plus actually at your gym. So again, to be around these women with so much experience from the beginning. These are, you know, these are veterans of the sport. So I take everything they have to say to heart and just listen. That's what I do. I just love coming in and just listening, hearing them talk, share stories, talk about, like, Michelle was like, oh yeah, Coach Greg, remember that one time I like threw up in your hand in the corner and you had little stories like that is just so cool to hear and again connect with and be like, okay, you know, this is a wild ride, but we're all kind of on the same ride and going through the same experiences.
Yeah, for sure. And Holly, for sure, she'll definitely be a future Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
I still remember the time she knocked out Ronda Rousey. That was, I know everybody
was crazy.
That was a wild time right there.
Phenomenal, you know. I was watching back then. I actually knew I had trained with Liz Carmouche, who was the first one to fight Ronda, and almost got Ronda actually. So to watch Holly, and then I get to come out here and I'm sparring with her, and I'm like, oh my god, it's wild! It's absolutely wild. I got my ass beat by both women, Holly and Michelle. Just get my ass beat all the time. I have had multiple bruises. I think one of the first times I was out here, like 8 weeks straight, just bruise on bruise on bruise, and you just gotta love it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, I guess her and like Cowboy, I mean, that's good. Not only are you just learning every day, but they fought. I mean, they fought till they're in their 40s, you know, like they're durable. They know what they're doing in that sense. So you're in good shape, not only learning from their highs and lows, because they both had those, which is a good thing for a fighter to go through, but it's like they both fought for a very long time. They're very durable fighters.
Oh yeah, no, it's so cool to see that. You know, I've always said I'm actually one of the like older of this new generation that's coming out here. You know, I'll be 33 in December. So I'm always like, oh my gosh, my age. And then you have people like this, and I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm okay. I just got to kind of keep chugging along and it'll happen.
Well, we had a guy on here that was 50 still fighting. He was like, is it my age or my ability? And it was one of those things. It was Holm Ghazali from Israel, and he does BKFC, and he's trying to get one fight in the UFC, but that's what he was telling us. He was like, I've knocked out guys in their 30s still. I've fought Randy Couture's son to a decision. Like, I may be 50, but is it my age or is it my ability? And as long as I train every day, like, does it really matter my age for a fighter to contract? Which kind of the same thing. It's like, yeah, 32 or 33, but it's like you still have a lot of ability years in you for sure. So.
Well, and I did notice that it was really interesting. When I was younger, when I was 16, 17, 18, I was fighting grown women because there wasn't a lot of girls and I was a little bit chunkier, a little bit heavier. And I remember having conversations with my mom. I was like, dude, these women hit so hard. I was like, so different. And it's really funny how now that once I hit 30, I was like, okay, I have a woman's strength is just, you need to kind of come into it, right? And I love it. It is good. I'm like, nah, I'm a strong bitch. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to. So plus the experience. So it does really benefit me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I have no doubt. There's some women, I've told David this. I think some women could beat some of the guys in the UFC. I really think that.
Oh, yeah. I think so too. Especially, I don't know, especially from a IQ standpoint, sometimes, especially in like the lightweight division for the men, it's like some of those guys, it's like their IQ kind of goes out in the second round now, where you don't really see that. It's very technical, like Mackenzie Dern the other night. Like, it's very technical fights. That's why I like to watch those, because it's very technical if you watch it and you're a fan of like technicality and actually like what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really cool. Honestly, just watching the women spar, like watching Holly and Michelle spar, they're beating these boys at the
Oh yeah.
So bad. You'll see them just come kind of crawling out. You got the bloody noses, and it's like, I'm glad that's not me.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a
So where are you originally from? Are you from Arkansas?
No, I actually grew up down in San Diego. So grew up in
Okay.
San Diego. In the last couple of years, I go back and forth between here and Orange County.
Okay. Gotcha.
We were seeing something about Arkansas. And I was like, you were talking. I was like, I don't think that's right. So I was like, but that, for some reason, like Tapology or something said something about Arkansas, but then all your Instagram and stuff said New Mexico and California. So we were like, we'll ask, but
I'm a mom all over the place, but is mainly where Peak is based out of. So that's kind of like their big place is Arkansas. So I fought quite a few times in Arkansas, and they're starting to expand. That's where this one will be in Texas. They have a July show in Texas. They just had a show actually out here in New Mexico, which is really cool. So he's just starting to expand, which is awesome to see, you know, because Arkansas is cool, but it's very small.
Yeah, sure.
It's like Bryce Mitchell, and that's it, I think, for UFC fighter. Like, you don't really think about fighters other than Bryce Mitchell being from there.
No.
Who is one female or multiple that you look up to? Who's somebody that you look up to right now in the sport?
You know, honestly, I'm still so obsessed with Shevchenko, Bullet Valentina. I was actually following her on social media way back in the day when she was just doing Muay Thai, you know, and does this like kick all over the world. And I kind of was doing that. And I've always just admired her. And then to watch her go from Muay Thai, which is kind of what I started with, that was my first martial art, to watch her go from Muay Thai to progress to be a freaking multiple champion. The Alexa Grasso thing, still, Alexa Grasso is phenomenal as well. Bullet is just something else, you know, and she's, you know, they say she's a master with the Muay Thai, but her grappling, her jiu-jitsu, all of that, to watch her progress to that as well and be an actual extremely well-rounded fighter was so motivating, you know, and that's kind of what's happened with me. I started with Muay Thai. I'm so happy I was able to basically not fully master it. You never really master it, but I've mastered Muay Thai. And so now to be able to focus on the grappling, I've fallen in love with grappling, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, all this stuff, judo, everything to do with it. So to put it all together, to watch somebody in my sport put it all together and do as much as she did, you know, I thought she was going to retire undefeated. I was very convinced, but they had an amazing game plan. And I don't know if you guys saw it. So Bullet Valentina lost. She did like a spin back kick. Alexa Grasso got her, choked her out. Right. There is a video of, they knew she loves these spin back kicks. There's a video of Alexa Grasso practicing that. They practice her spinning and her just grabbing in and taking her down. And it's kind of the same. Connor used to have a video. There was a video that went viral of, you saw him like jump in. He was like, back.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what it is too. Just, you know, there's something to have with talent and to be an amazing individual, but to have the coaches that help you game plan and prepare you, that's something special too.
Definitely. Do you think Valentina will, if they get the rematch soon, do you think she'll win?
Oh, it's so hard. I do think she has it in her, but you know, it's one of those things. I know Alexa Grasso is going to be even better next time. So I think she'll probably give her a run for the money. It could end up going to decision. You know, I think it would end up going to decision and being one of those. But same thing, Alexa Grasso, she's got the hands, and she was doing really, really well with the punching and stuff like that. I think that was actually shocking. Valentina. So if she's got the hands, she's got the wrestling, she's got the jiu-jitsu. So it's gonna give Valentina a good test.
For sure, definitely. I agree with that. There's one female. Have you been following Erin Blanchfield at all?
Yes.
She's another one. I think she's gonna be another champ in the UFC.
I watch all her fights.
Yeah, and she's so young too. She's still extremely young. I actually got a chance to train at Henzo's in New York, and I don't think she was in the UFC just at that point, but I got to see her and I was like, wow, you know, yeah, this girl is going to be something good, especially training at Henzo's in New York. And to see her again, just progressing, it's really inspiring. Because like I said, I'm on the level with these girls. I know I'm on this level, and to see them grow, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to keep up, So it's very.
You'll get there, I'm sure, with that mindset. Yeah, sure. Anything you want to add, David?
No, you'll get there for sure. I think that's like anything in life. It's like you want to compare yourself so bad, but honestly, it sounds like you're doing the right thing by listening, getting all the feedback, and just doing your thing. At the end of the day, you're your own person. It sounds like you're very confident in that, so I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's hard. It's one of those things, especially for you'll have the people like somebody I just fought is now on Contender Series and this and that, and it's very hard not to be like, oh my gosh, but I've had this talk with a few people, other podcasters and stuff, and it's one of those, you can't let it distract you. It's like, unfortunately, maybe it is going to take a little bit longer, but I just got to keep grinding away, put my head down and just grind and get the wins. And even if I don't get the wins, I need to put on a performance every single time. And I always do. Every fight I've had is a performance, so I just got to keep doing that. And then everything will fall into place. I just gotta wait.
Awesome. I guess too, I don't know if they're doing it this season with Connor and Michael Chandler. I don't think so, but I would love to see, it would probably be perfect for you too. I would love to see like another tough series with women in it, like another tough house of women in it for sure.
Absolutely. I know. I would have loved to do something like that. I think that's just, again, such a cool experience, doing the media side of it. And that's what's hard too, is not a lot of people, women wise too, can do the fighting plus the media, plus this, plus that. It's hard, and that's why, unfortunately, you have a lot of men that they can be, undefeated, this and that, but unfortunately, they don't know how to sell themselves. And because of my performing background, where I'm like, look, I'm built to handle that. I want to handle that. I am a performer. I love being in front of people. And what makes it even better is I actually can fight too. So
right.
Natalya, do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to add? Any way that we can, any links or anything that supports like your career, anything we can shout out?
Honestly, I do have to say this, like every time I do a podcast, I have to thank you guys so much. I think it's so cool for you guys getting fighters on that are even on the regional scenes, just giving us a chance to kind of voice ourselves, tell our stories, just having a little bit out there, and it means a lot to be able to do that. So thank you guys, just for hosting this and doing the podcast. I think that's so awesome. Good for you guys. Keep freaking kicking ass with it.
Thank you.
For obviously everybody that's a part of my team. I've had an amazing camp. This fight is going to be a good fight. She shows up. She's a banger. She's a little boxer. And you know what? In my last fight, unfortunately, didn't go my way. I dealt with a bad weight cut and paid the price in the ring. So honestly, I feel like I haven't fought since last February, so over a year. And in that fight, I broke my leg, so I couldn't actually do everything I wanted to do. So I feel like I haven't fought in a while. So I'm just so excited to get out there and show everything I've been working on with my coaches, with my strength and conditioning. And it's going to be a good one. You guys want to definitely stay tuned for it.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, we will.
We'll definitely check that out. I don't know if you see what we do. We do clips of everything we talk about, like the highlights, and we'll collaborate with you if that works for you to promote.
Absolutely. For sure.
Awesome. Sounds good. Anything you want to add, David?
No, just again, reiterating what he said. We appreciate your time, and we're glad to have you on.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it. Well, you have a good night, all right?
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.
See you later.